And we're going to take a quick break, a little bit more about Broadway, and then when we come back, we're going to find out about taxes. Oh boy, you're in trouble if you don't have them done yet, right? Stay tuned.
To imagine a frozen protest in Russia's Red Square, where tonight's media host stood holding her microphone to bring the far-flung world the news of the day. Now picture that intrepid reporter graduating from the Moscow Art Theater and then beginning her own theater company right in New York City. And as news anchor, delivering world and local events anytime we need them from Time Warner Cable News. Let's welcome the MC with enough moxie to introduce the very first Boffo Broadway act of the evening, Channel 9's Karen Terraracci.
Okay, taxes. I got mine done. You got yours done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're good.
Don't fool
Are
around.
we done with this segment now?
We could just leave. I mean, death and taxes. Where else can you go?
Where else can you go?
Right.
And I understand you knew John from before too.
Yeah, Johnny and I go way back, friends of the family. And when Johnny was working at the restaurant, he had to file for his undertaker license exam. And I'm a notary, so he had to have the documentation notarized. So that's how I got him started.
I'll be darned. So you got him started. Okay, we're filming this on the 15th, which is tax day, so we're assuming that mostly everybody has their taxes done. But there is a problem with some people who, they're still scratching their heads and say, well, I'll just put it off and say I'll do it, what is it, deferred or whatever,
Yeah.
late taxes, extra, whatever.
Extension.
But you still have to pay, right?
Right, exactly. A couple things that I wanted
And
to talk
we've
about.
got some slides here
Sure.
we're going to show.
A couple of things I wanted to talk about, Ann. Some of the errors common errors that people make when they're filing for their returns, they put the wrong security number down. They neglect to list the dependent's last name. They make errors with their filing status. One of my shortcomings is math and computation errors. So things don't add up
Double
correctly.
check.
Right. And I get a huge refund, and I can't understand why I'm
Why
getting
am I
audited.
getting $40,000 back when I only earned 15?
Exactly. The other thing is incorrect bank information, either the wrong routing number for the bank or the wrong account number. Simple thing like forgetting to sign the return and dating it, and then they make a mistake.
Now,
with
when you
their
say
adjusted
signing,
gross.
if you file online, how do you sign it?
There's a declaration that you click and attest to.
It says, okay.
Yeah. Now, as you mentioned, we're actually taping the show on the
15th.
last day of the 15th. So we do have, at the end of the season, several sites that still provide services to the public with regards to taxes. And both of those are on that slide that the viewers can see now.
Yeah, and one of them I understand is going to close only in October. So you've got some time to work with that.
Well, there are some issues. If clients have an issue with their taxes, the best thing right to do is to reach out to the IRS. But in the meantime, what you can do is call the local United Way. Our program director, Tom Morley, can advise you in terms of what you need to do, what forms need to get filled out. If it's an issue about still needing to get your tax return done, Tom can make those arrangements.
There to
he
guide
can reach
you.
out, right? He can reach out to other sites that are still available, even though the season is ended. Some of the sites continue providing the service all year long.
Yeah.
One of the things that clients may not be aware of is that they have an opportunity to file for an extension. The caveat with that is that if you have a tax liability, you still have to pay it. You still have to pay it today.
And you have to guess sometimes.
Right. And/or contact the IRS and make some sort of arrangements for that tax liability balance.
That always seems like a catch-22 because if you don't know, you haven't done your taxes, you don't know how much you owe, but you still have to pay it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, how does that work?
Yeah. So there is a form that you can get online. It's Form 4868. You just fill it out, print it off, and then mail it in along with the tax liability if you have one. And that gives you a 6-month extension.
What about people that say, I talked to somebody, well, I don't tax because, I don't file because I know I'm going to just get a refund, and And I go, well, you're going to get a refund. Why wouldn't you file? You know.
Well, a lot of people just, you know, it might be a privacy issue. It could be, you know, there are people that want to be under the radar, don't want to be known or found. Those kind of things.
But their taxes were taken out of their
right,
employer,
exactly.
yeah.
So I mean, it's their money, and they're letting.
I never have quite figured that one
yeah,
out.
and they're letting the government use it for free.
Yeah.
But with regards to the tax liability, it's always best to have an automatic withdrawal from an account. We don't encourage clients to use credit cards because of the interest rates associated with that. But the bottom line is, if it's a large amount, reach out to the IRS. Very friendly people, get a payment plan, and get that debt taken care of.
Okay, that's great, yeah.
The next thing was avoiding underpayments. A lot of times, people come in to get their taxes done and can't understand why they've got to pay a tax, why they owe the government.
Because they're not paying an estimated besides? Because they have different
there's
income coming.
Different incomes.
Like a 1099 where they're not paying
right.
taxes.
There's different incomes. There's different withholding taxes depending on those income levels. So it's always good to talk to somebody like an accountant or a CPA, somebody professionally. I personally have an additional money that's taken out of my paycheck each pay period, so I don't run into that same situation. And it's usually people that are filing single or filing married single that run into those kind of issues. And then the other problem is people rolling over 401ks.
Yeah.
There's a real strict way to do that. You don't want to have...
There's a 10% penalty if you...
Exactly, and if you don't do that correctly and unfortunately have the check made out to you, so it looks like that you got the disbursement instead of it being rolled over to a financial institution.
In other words, you've got to be careful.
Right,
you got to show that it went into another fund.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
The second to last is the My Free Taxes. I wanted to kind of talk about that again. I mentioned it to you the last time I was on the show. The website is www.myfreetaxes.com/New York Cap Region. There, free online web access to file both your federal and state return. Absolutely free. It's a safe, secure, done in the privacy of your own home for incomes of $58,000 or under. And it's just a great way. We've had over 500 people in the region actually preferred to have done their taxes that way. And that system is up and running until October 15th. So they even
plan ahead for next year, too, yeah.
Exactly. The last thing to mention is if you haven't discovered or received your refund yet, there's a way to find out. There's an app you can download for your smartphone called the IRS 2Go phone app, or you can go to the IRS website, www.irs.gov, click on Where's My Refund. They ask you specific information, Social Security number, filing status, and the exact amount of your refund. And then they'll be able to tell you the status of where your refund is. Has it been processed? Has it gone out to be deposited? Was a check issued? And the state, New York State, does the same thing at their website.
So check your bank statements too, right?
Exactly.
You should have an automatic deposit.
And last but not least, when in doubt, dial 211. It's our Health and Human Service hotline that's available weekdays from 9 in the morning to 7 at night to ask any questions in terms of things that are related to health and human services. They'll direct you to the agency closest to your house, or be glad to give me a call at Circles, or hit our website at circlesofmercy.org.
And that was Richard Zazicki, and he is with the Circles of Mercy and the Cash Coalition of the Greater Capital Region area. You've heard it all here. There's no excuse for you not to get your taxes done, and give him a call. He'd be glad to chat with you, take you out for coffee, whatever, right?
Whatever you say.
Yeah, good.
Always a pleasure.
Right.